Hi there guys, and welcome to this week's videos on some of the best day trips from the Gold Coast. While the Gold Coast has plenty to do in and around the busy streets, sometimes we all like to venture out beyond the city limits and see what else we can explore while still staying on the Gold Coast. Well, this video is for you, so let's get started with our list of the best day trips from the Gold Coast. First up today, we have Natural Bridge in the Springbrook National Park. It's a very interesting waterfall, but a different kind of waterfall where you can watch from above with the water disappearing into the big hole, along with underneath where the waterfall crashes into the waterhole. Rain is always a factor with any waterfall, but this one seems to be running all year round. It's an easy 1 kilometre walking path which has been formed to help tourists view the natural bridge and allow for its preservation. The complete Purlingbrook Falls hike is about 4 kilometres in length and will take about 2 hours to complete. The track is formed, but there is a steep elevation to get back to the car park. There is a lookout at the top to see the waterfall, but a better view from below in the gully and looking up. It's a loop track with the waterfall about halfway. However, the waterfall is more prominent in the summer months after the rain. You can hike in either direction, going downhill first and seeing the waterfall, and back up the other side to complete. The Lamington National Park was UNESCO World Heritage listed for part of the Gondwana Rainforest in 1994, and where you'll find the O'Reilly's Rainforest Retreat. There are several different hikes here and a popular place to visit for day trips from the Gold Coast. The Treetop Walk is a big favourite and only 800 metres return along the suspended bridge. This is called the Booyong Walk and is clearly signposted near the reception area for the Rainforest Retreat accommodation. It consists of 9 suspension bridges around 16 metres above the ground, and even better that it's free to check out. Marvel at the rainforest biodiversity with subtropical birdlife, reptiles, frogs and mammals. If you're game, there is another lookout point 30 metres up a giant fig tree. You'll never forget that view. Snorkeling or diving is a wonderful way to experience a different side of the Gold Coast, being underwater. Obviously, snorkeling is a little more accessible and done anywhere, but you're not going to see that much just off the beach. The closest I've come to any kind of snorkeling was South Stradbroke Island, which was part of a kayaking trip from Southport. Given the opportunity, I recommend trying out snorkeling at Moreton Island and the Tangalooma wrecks. You'll find plenty of fish, wobbegong sharks, eels, and exploring the plant life on the ships. Apart from that, if you do have the opportunity to dive, then you're going to come across much more marine life. Learning to dive really changed my life and can open up a whole new world. If you're already a certified diver, then there are several different boat crews you can join on any day trip from the Gold Coast. You're definitely going to have some fun at Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. I found this to be a very good park for animal interactions and fewer cage restrictions. If you're looking to see a lot of Australian animals, then this is a great place to start. Plenty of kangaroos, emus, birds, snakes, and so much more. Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary is only 30 minutes drive from the Gold Coast, and yes, it's definitely worth the visit. The park is relatively large, especially considering its location on the Gold Coast. You could easily spend a whole day there and see some of the feeding shows available. The Queen Mary Falls is located just outside of Killarney, about 2.5 hours away from the Gold Coast, and can be reached by following the Waterfall Way. The Queen Mary Falls circuit is a great way to experience the falls up close and personal. The trail takes you to the top of Queen Mary Falls, providing stunning views of the surrounding area. Then it winds its way down to the bottom of the falls, where you'll view from below. This is all contained within the Gondwana rainforest and is well worth a visit when you're near Killarney. This ancient rainforest is home to a wide variety of plant and animal life, making it a truly unique place to explore. The island of North Stradbroke or Minjerribah is an easy day trip from the Gold Coast and one of your best island holiday destinations. Straddie is a little different from Moreton Island, where you have over 2,000 people permanently living there. Therefore, you have plenty of room to get around, beaches to explore, places to eat and drink, public transport, and accommodation options to stay in. Not only that, but you'll have some awesome camping spots on the beach. You could start out with hanging out on the beach, surfing, or completing the Gorge Walk at Point Lookout. Check out the blog below if you want to find the easiest ways to get there. Lady Elliot Island is your only day trip access to the Great Barrier Reef from the Gold Coast, and it's one of the wonders of the world and stretches over 2,000 kilometres down the coast of Queensland to the town of Bundaberg. Access this area of the southern Great Barrier Reef comes from flights that leave from the Gold Coast suburb of Coolangatta, the Gold Coast Airport. The trip can be expensive, but you can take advantage of seeing the Great Barrier Reef if you're not staying further up the Queensland coast. Your day will consist of snorkeling, swimming with the turtles, and other marine life. On land, you can explore and learn about the history of the island, the lighthouse, and the bird habitat. As we venture further north into Brisbane, you can visit one of the more popular entertainment districts. The suburb of Southbank is located straight across from the river from Brisbane City and visited by millions of tourists each year. You'll find the arts district with the museums, the library and stage theatre. Markets are held every weekend, along with special events and festivals. A variety of food and drink options with many cafes and restaurants, as well as catering for those inner city beachgoers with the man-made Patrol Streets Beach. There is nothing you can't find here, and easy access with public transport from the Gold Coast. Most of the facilities and entertainment is free, but the amount you spend will depend on what you do. A favourite destination for locals and tourists, Mount Cootha Lookout rises 287 metres above sea level and is the highest peak near Brisbane. It provides a stunning vista across Brisbane, a perfect location to visit during a sunny day or to see the carpet of lights from Brisbane at night. You can drive up to the lookout for easy access or turn it into a hiking location for an alternative and healthy way to make your ascent to the top. Know that this 2-kilometre one-way track is well maintained, providing an easy path and suitable for all ages. It takes between 40 and 50 minutes one way, but obviously quicker on the way down. It's actually really easy to locate and walk out to King Island, but you just need to pick your times. There's not much shade and you definitely have to watch the tides to pick your best time. The walk itself to King Island is only about 1 kilometre one way, and you can casually walk there in about 20 minutes on the sand. Once you get to the island, you have the choice of walking around the right-hand side of the island or through the middle. If you're lucky, you'll see some of the bird life and the sea creatures around, which is a big hit for the kids. Apart from that, most of the locals will use this point to get some sun, exercise, or walk the dog. Everyone can enjoy the inaugural reservoir, from swimmers to kayakers, paddleboarders, or just floating around in a donut. The space for swimming is sectioned off and everyone with a device is outside of that. The cool thing is, I even saw a hire van down there to rent kayaks and paddleboards for the hour if you don't want to take your own. The beach section is a little small and hard to get to if it's busy. There was a lot of car parking, but my visit had me parking down the road this day. If you want some added activities, there seems to be a number of hikes and bike trails around, as well as toilets and a cafe located near the car park. But it's only a short 200-metre walk to the reservoir edge from the cafe. The Redcliffe area has always been pretty popular for beachgoers and people who choose to live by the water. There is a boardwalk stretching from Woody Point to Scarborough Beach and easily up to 10 kilometres long. Take the opportunity for a bike ride or walk a portion of it. The beach sides are home to many different cafes and those coffee fixers and even the markets on the weekends. On the other hand, you can take your swimmers and enjoy Brisbane's second man-made pool, Settlement Cove. This is just near Sutton's Beach and a very popular spot for visitors. Bribie Island would have to be one of the easiest islands to visit in southeast Queensland, just because you can drive there and isolate yourself from the crowds. It's located in the north of Brisbane and joined to Sandstone Point by the Bribie Island Bridge. It takes about 2 hours to get there from the Gold Coast and easy to get around with your own vehicle. You have a surf beach on the eastern side facing the ocean and calm waters on the western side facing Brisbane. You have local shops and cafes, markets on the weekends, and a few points of interest. If you have a four-wheel drive, then buying a permit, you can drive down the east side of the island into the national park. There are a few swimming spots and isolated beachside fun for the family or a group of friends. As we head further north to the Sunshine Coast region, you have the hinterland and a number of different spots to check out. If you enjoy the hikes and views, then you might want to give the Mount Nung Nung Summit Walk a go. It's one of the most popular hiking destinations in the Glasshouse Mountains National Park and made up of large boulders. The view from the top are truly spectacular on a clear day. You can see the Sunshine Coast, the ocean waters and Brisbane City. It takes most people between 1 or 2 hours return to walk up Mount Nung Nung, depending on your fitness level. The track is rated at a grade 4, which means it's suitable for experienced hikers with limited signs and rock scrambling. While this is the case for some of the areas of the hike, I believe anyone with a moderate fitness level can complete it. Condalilla Falls has to be one of my favourite Sunshine Coast waterfalls to visit, more so that it's a great swimming spot too. This is a very popular area for hiking and it's the only way to reach the falls. Although you can choose to complete the entire 4.7 kilometre hike and swim in the middle, or just do the 2.4 kilometre walk to the falls and return on the same track. This does involve about 300 stairs on this one, which is normally the way for visiting the falls. It's a grade 3 formed track and can be completed with a moderate fitness level. The great thing is this one is running almost all the time, or at least every time I've visited. Gardeners Falls would have to be one of the easiest waterfalls to get to, but the parking was limited and heaps of people there. The falls and swimming hole were only 400 metres away on a grade 1 formed flat track and heaps of spots to sit on the lawn. They had some small cascades you could sit under, along with larger falls and 2 rope swings over the waterhole. I would have to research more for a less busy time, but still a nice waterfall to visit. The fairy pools in Noosa are located within the National Park on the Sunshine Coast. It's a stunning area of woodlands and wetlands within the eucalypt forest. With comfortable weather all year round, the tropical climate of Noosa makes it possible to visit the fairy pools all year round. It takes about 40 minutes one way to get to the rock pools as you follow the coastal path. But stay up to date with the tide times and visit in the lowest tide. Caloundra is known for its sunny weather, endless beaches and a top holiday destination in Queensland. Kings Beach is patrolled by lifeguards and is a great spot for swimming and surfing. Further around at Bullcock Beach, you'll enjoy kayaking and paddleboarding. For those who prefer to stay on dry land, the famous coastal boardwalk pathway runs right through Caloundra and a beautiful way to take in the sights and sounds of the coast. You'll pass by rocky cliffs, sandy beaches and crystal clear waters along the way. So whether you're looking to relax or get active, Caloundra has something for everyone. Double Island Point is one of the most iconic points of interest in the Cooloola recreational area. It's located in the Great Sandy National Park and features a scenic headland and one of my favourite beaches. The only way to get to Double Island Point is by a high clearance four-wheel drive vehicle. This will be accessing the Cooloola or Tiawa Beach from Noosa North Shore. The journey is half the fun, but once you get to Double Island Point, you can cool off by splashing around in the lagoon at the base of the headland. While there, take a moment to watch surfers catch some of the long, rolling waves. And if the views are what you're after, make sure you climb all the way up to the Double Island Point Lighthouse for sweeping panoramas of both the north and the south coast, as well as an unforgettable view of the ocean. Don't let the excitement stop you there, and check out this playlist from Southeast Queensland to find out more things to do in the Brisbane and Gold Coast area. Otherwise, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you for the next one.